مشاهدينا من جديد، نحن الآن داخل سفارة البرازيل بالجزائر في ضيافة سفير البرازيل إلى الجزائر إدواردو بوتيليو باربوسا. Your Excellency, hello and welcome. Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you, Mohamed, for having me on الشروق TV, and I want to extend my warmest greetings to all who are accompanying this program.
And before we start our interview, Your Excellency, we would love to invite you and our viewers to watch this report about Islam in Brazil, and we'll be right back. أهلا بكم من جديد. Ambassador, as we have seen in the report, Islam is the second religion in your country. How is the spread and the extent of this religion over Brazil?
I would like to start saying that Brazil obviously is a large country. We are 200 million people. We are very open towards other cultures. We are very accepting of other beliefs, other religions. And we are also, you said Islam is the second religion, we are also the largest Catholic nation in the world. I know that Islam is growing in Brazil, and it is very welcome. There's a very strong Arab contribution to the Brazilian nationality, mainly from Lebanon and Syria. There are about 6 to 8 million descendants of Lebanese in Brazil nowadays. And according to the official statistics, to our statistical institute, IBGE, in 2010, if I remember well, there were 35,000 Muslims in Brazil out of 200 million people. Although some sources estimate that the Muslim population is at 1.2 million. I am not too sure that this makes it the second religion, although obviously makes it a significant
After unofficial
part of the
statistics,
country.
it says that it's the second religion and Muslims are up to 1 million, as you said, and 30 to 50% are converting into Islam recently. And here we're wondering why there is no official statistics for this community.
Because in Brazil we do not discriminate on the basis of religion. The state is completely laic. It guarantees the freedoms of speech, of religion, non-discrimination. So it is not a concern, because in Brazil we don't really pay attention, let's say, too much to that aspect.
Your Excellency, one of the French most famous, important newspapers said that, or published an article talking about the increase of Muslims in Brazil just after 9/11. How to explain that?
As I said, obviously it's very difficult to put a number on that. I do know that Brazil has made, and I'm speaking here about government policy, an effort to approximate, in this case, South America and the Arab world. That there is a forum called South America Arab Countries, which bring together the heads of state on a periodic basis. It has several commissions. And the idea is that these two regions of the world need to know each other better. You have here in Algiers a very concrete manifestation of this initiative, which is the Bibliaspa, the Library of the South America Arab Countries Initiative, which is a project by a Brazilian architect, Oscar Niemeyer. But Algeria has decided to build it here, and it is going to be a point for academics and students to learn more about our regions and approximate them more. So generally there is a movement of more interest, let's say, and this is very much driven by Brazil.
Your Excellency, actually, while preparing this interview, I read an article about the Brazilian TV series broadcast on Global TV. 3 weeks after 9/11. And here the article says that Okloni contributed in a very important way in the rise of converted Muslims in Brazil. And here I might ask you to give us more details about this TV series.
Brazil, these telenovelas, these serials, TV series, are extremely popular. Actually, we have exported many of them worldwide.
That's right.
And they have a huge impact on the population.
But how could this one had the impact on...
Okloni has has a very sympathetic and positive portrait of Islam, and I think that obviously contributes to motivate people's interest in this religion.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, we're talking now about Brazil, where Muslim numbers are rising, as we're saying. This fact maybe requires more efforts from the governments for this community. And of course, to learn, to give them the opportunity to learn about their religion. Is this point taken in consideration? I mean, are there any schools, institutions for teaching Muslims about their religion?
It is not up to the state to favor one religion or the other. So what happens is that the communities in themselves take the initiative. Catholics will, raise their children Catholic. The churches will take care of the education. There'll be Catholic schools, same thing for Protestants, Jewish people. So I think in the case of Muslims, which is very important, obviously religion is a very important part of the culture, the cultural identity, that the Muslim communities would be themselves taking charge of the religious education.
On another hand, Ambassador, no minarets to call for prayers in Brazil could hinder Muslims to exercise their religion. Don't you think so?
Well, there are 13, I think, minarets in Brazil.
In some part of Brazil, there is no minaret.
Well, basically, in São Paulo,
it's forbidden to,
and down towards the south. No, it's absolutely not forbidden. It's totally permitted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ambassador, if we talk about Muslims in politics, what role do they play, or do they have an impact there?
Well, first, they have to be Brazilian citizens, obviously, to be able to participate in the political process. But I must say, once again, given that it is a small, still a small community and rather spread out across the country, their impact on politics has not yet been felt.
Okay, coming back to 9/11, this transitional event for Muslims. After that event, State Department asked Brazil to look closely to the Islamic sects under the pretext that they are or had been sheltering centers of terrorists. And here Brazil responded that they would defend all Brazilian citizens and without exception against any foreign intervention. Is the phenomenon of Islamophobia completely absent in Brazil?
Well, in Brazil, as I said, we are very diverse. We are very mixed. We have several religions. I don't see any manifestation of Islamophobia. People take an interest. Obviously, if let's say women would be dressed in their traditional hijabs and dresses, they might draw some curiosity on the street. But no, there's absolutely, we don't feel menaced, we welcome. As I said, we have an Arab, although the Arabs who we're speaking about are Maronites, very strong presence in Brazil. Our vice president is a descendant of Lebanese, the mayor of São Paulo also, etc. So we are used to having Arabs in our midst, and religion is not a problem. As I said, we have several religions.
So we cannot talk about a before and after 9/11?
No, no. 9/11 obviously was an event that was important worldwide. There is no denying the impact it has had on international and global politics. But as far as the behavior of Brazilians towards other Brazilians or foreigners from different religions, this has not had an impact.
Okay, Ambassador, we're talking about Islam and Muslims in Brazil, a country that is considered as a model in coexistence between religions and cultures. Within the traditions, since 5 years, the Brazilian parliament celebrates every year Islamic religions and its prominent personalities. Would you tell us more about this custom that we don't find, like we rarely find it in other countries?
Well, you know, the Parliament has, as I said, this.
Like, how did the idea come to start this tradition?
Well, I guess it must have to do with the very important Arab presence in Brazil. Mm-hmm. As I said, some put it at 6, others put it at 8 million descendants of Lebanese. Mm-hmm. So yes, I mean, we celebrate our diversity, and I think Congress, that was the idea of Congress, is to recognize that this population, which is definitely growing, is welcome and part of our country.
Mm-hmm. But in spite of all the positive points and remarkable influence of Muslims and Arabs, minority in Brazil, we've been talking during this interview about many good initiatives done by the Brazilian government. Islam is not officially recognized in the Brazilian constitution.
Well, you can go to the Brazilian constitution, and when it speaks about the objectives of the state, it's very much oriented towards the citizen, towards equality, solidarity, justice, freedom. You have to go further down the articles to see what the government, what the constitution, the liberties that it defends. And then it will say, amongst other things, that it defends the liberty of religion. That is
if we don't recognize a religion,
you can go through the constitution. It is not like in Algeria where you have, like Article 2, it says Islam is the official religion.
But in many countries where religions are respected, we have officially recognitions to those religions.
Well, as I said, at the constitutional level, there's no official recognition neither of the Catholic religion. There is a very strong wording towards the respect of all religions. I guess that we don't have a ministry of cult like you have here, of religion. That is not, we don't have that in our government. So the religion is accepted as, because it is a community that actually professes that religion, but it does not depend on official recognition.
At the end of this interview, Your Excellency, would you love to say something for الشروق News viewers?
Well, Mohammed, yes, definitely. First, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak to your viewers. And I would like to say that there is a very deep friendship between our two countries. We have been entertaining diplomatic relations since 1962. There are many similarities between Brazil and Algeria. One of them obviously is the love for football. You can see by the photo of Pelé on my desk. We have a lot going on between us in terms of trade, and I'm very glad to say that their perspectives for even more intense relationship between our two countries is getting better by the day. So, for you and your viewers, Saharan Damkon.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you one more time for being with us.
Thank you.
مشاهدينا، إذن بهذا نأتي إلى ختام حلقة اليوم من برنامج أنا المسلم. نلتقي في عدد جديد آخر مع جالية أخرى تعيش وطنا جديدا لكنها ترفض أن تذوب فيه.